What's up, y'all? This is Edward back with another video, and this will be a little bit quicker than what they normally are. Well, I hate that sound. I hate this sound. Anyway, I just want to give some follow-up comments on the T.I. situation because yes, last time I did a video yesterday, I was just kind of all over the place as I usually can be, hitting a lot of different topics. So I want to stay focused on this. So for those of you all that don't know, basically T.I. is kind of in a little bit of controversy. I don't know why, because he made it public that that he takes his daughter to the gynecologist, and one of the reasons is to check if she still has her hymen, which means she's still a quote unquote virgin. And some dudes are trying to say it's quote unquote inappropriate, and some females, and a lot of females are basically kind of talking about, basically trying to say T.I. is overbearing and all of that. So right now, what we're gonna do real quick is I'm gonna give quick 10 to 15 minutes. Probably not gonna deal with no comments, and break this shit down. First, I want to deal with the inappropriate situation. Anybody that says that shit is inappropriate in 2019 is full of shit. There is no wiggle room with that. Now, I said on the last video that probably would be something I would do. I would go about it a different way. And when I say a different way, what I mean is I basically say if I got a daughter and she's fucking and sucking and she's doing all that and she gets pregnant, she's on her own. That's the route I would take. But T.I. clearly probably understands that he probably wouldn't do that, and he has the money to not have the pressure, the financial pressure to do that. So he's pretty much heading that shit off at the weeds. And I understand that. But this inappropriate shit that people are using, and this is mainly dudes that are saying that, because women are outright saying they don't agree with it, because women don't like black men having dominion over them anyway. They don't even like the image or the idea of that, whether they're a child or not. Or that's why they're upset. Don't give a fuck how they want to slice it, dice it. That's how they're upset. This is why when they talk about what happens when it comes to, child molestation and all this bullshit, I keep telling y'all, that's why that shit is only meant to elicit guilt. That shit is not meant to actually solve the problem. These women that talk that shit are not interested in solving the fucking problem. And I'm going to get back to that in a second. The reason those folks are full of shit to say that, because it is 2019 and these chicks are out here. You got women that are learning from strippers. Strippers, a lot of times your strippers are your new role models for these women, these young girls, these teenage girls. And I've heard it. I've heard motherfuckers say this. This is overt. It is not covert. When that strippers are their role models a lot of times. They didn't have no idea. The bullshit. Whore culture is very real and very present. It is not something that's coming like down the road. It is here, and it has been here for at least 5-6 years now. Cardi B is proof of it, but she's not the only one. All these women are trying to be hoes. All these women are trying to show their body. And these are the women, and you see it everywhere. When I talk about like OnlyFans and Twitter and Instagram, you see it. It's obvious. We're not arguing this. It's not nothing to argue. So when people really have the nerve to say that a man, because let's really break down what's inappropriate. What is inappropriate? That T.I. is taking his daughter to the gynecologist? Because you got male gynecologists. There's quite a few. There's a lot. It's not like a small percentage. So it's appropriate for a male to be a gynecologist, but it's inappropriate for a dad to take his daughter to the damn doctor. But these would be the same chicks that are cool with a man braiding a girl's hair. BGS said that, and that's a submissive act. But see, the act, you will never hear a woman say it's inappropriate for a father to braid a daughter's hair, even though that's a submissive act. Yet, all of a sudden, we got a problem with taking a man taking his daughter, not stepdaughter, his daughter, daughter he pays for, daughter he's present for, daughter with a whole lifestyle is funded by his efforts of, and keep it with me here, T.I. fucks up sometimes. I'm not like a T.I. fan. I like a lot of his music, but T.I. can say some stupid shit sometimes. I still ain't forgot about that fucking trap museum shit. But we're talking about this topic. And I give T.I. a lot of respect for putting it out there, because a lot of people want to say, well, it's inappropriate for him to do it. And then the other motherfuckers are like the simps. They talk about it's inappropriate for him to make it public. I would actually give him credit for actually putting it out there. Like, think about it. If this was Rev Run, his whole brand is based around the church, right? Or if this is a pastor and he said the same thing. What he's showing you is an example of he's just putting that information out there. Because think about it. What's inappropriate? What's inappropriate? It's not like he said he took his daughter to the abortion clinic to have an abortion. It's not like he said that. He said, I take her to the doctor. One of the things that gets checked is that. What? It's that simple. And when you understand, you got 50%, you got damn near 50% of these women out here running around with STDs and shit like that. I mean, when you know what the facts are, the statistics are, especially in the community we're in and the culture, anywhere else in the world, and I said that yesterday, outside of the West, no problem. Only in the West would that be an issue, especially with somebody that's got money. Only in the West that would be a problem. And this is, and a lot of times you gotta remember, a lot of men and women, the whore culture is the water they swim in. It's what they're baked in. It's what they're built from. So whether they're engaging in these activities or not, remember what I've always told you earlier in this channel. I said there's a difference between agitators and enablers. Agitators, enablers, and validators. Agitators are the people that's doing the fuck shit. Enablers are the people that really provide cover for motherfuckers doing the fuck shit. Validators are the ones co-signing the fuck shit. And those other two, the validators and enablers, are not necessarily always usually ones doing it. But they want the right to do it. Because they want to protect the right to have a hoe phase when they want to have one. That's what it's about. It goes without saying that we live in a society right now that every woman thinks they're owed a hoe phase. That you are owed a hoe phase. You're not owed a hoe. They think they're owed a hoe phase, and then they're owed a 6'4", like Idris Elba dude or whatever George Clooney dude by the time they get in their mid-30s. This is the world that most women, a lot of white women too, this ain't just black women, a lot of fucking goofy ass chicks are running on. This is the operating system they're running on. For real. And people want to run this inappropriate shit. It's inappropriate. If you don't get all the way the fuck out of here with that shit, knowing what goes on social media, knowing how many bitches are out here twerking, and guess what? It ain't even about because you can say, well, she's famous. Look at Lori Harvey. Look at all these that are like 22 and younger, or 21 and younger. Montana Fishburne. Look at these chicks get it in early. Real talk, President Obama could have benefited from doing that. But because his daughters were around white folk, that was basically they greenlit. Oh, did I say that? Anything can go because it's white folks she around. Now he probably would have been like that. She would have had a propensity, both of them hang around black folks, because they were white folks. It's okay. Why? Because the real goal is to use his daughters as a mechanism to protect the name but whiten it up. You're not gonna tell me that's not what the fuck is going on. Which really goes to tell me how black Michelle really is. Because if Michelle was really a sister like that, she wouldn't be cool. She wouldn't be fucking cool with that like that. Not like that. Not both of them just doing that. But you know, it goes that she's a part of the program too, because that's that feminist shit. Maybe she is a true sister, as she only shows her submissive demeanor when it comes to white people, which says a lot. But at the end of exactly all this shit that these women are advocating for, slut shaming, nudists, wearing their titties out, being sex workers. Because guess what? You can start that shit at 18 years old. Decriminalizing quote unquote sex work. Getting Montoya Brown out. But that shit is beyond the pale. You're not gonna tell me that the reason you're not upset about it. Shout out to Sub-Zero because he did a video about this, and I have seen BGS's video. You're not gonna fucking tell me, even though it's about a different topic, Sub-Zero did a video on this one. You're not gonna fucking tell me that the real issue you have is the image of a black man, not a white man, having dominion over a black female. You're not going to fucking tell me that's not what's triggering you. It's obvious that's what's triggering you. It's very obvious that's what it is. And why is that important, class? That is important because whenever you hear people say a black man is not there, a father is not there, part of it, and I would argue the majority part of it, is they don't want him there. The woman, the mother, and the kids don't know what they don't know because they're kids. The mother doesn't want that man there because that man equals, even the presence of that man a lot of times equals dominion. Unless you get a dude that's already declawed himself, and even then, that's going to be a loveless marriage, because this is where BGS's video comes in. Y'all should check it out. BGS broke that shit down, where he said what Joe Brown said, and this is why I was fucking selling their soul. And when I say selling their soul, to be a breadwinner to a dude. You just can't, because women are good. I don't give a damn how good the dick is. Eventually, you will lose respect for that dude. And that's a big reason why, if you listen to Paris Milan, when she does those videos every once in a while, where these chicks be calling in, these 92 octanes crying, and I'm not about to jump around, they're crying because the dudes that they got fit the sexual aesthetic that they want, so they pass the sexual test. But at the end of the day, these dudes are not pushing on a social and economic standpoint hard enough, and now they're past time waiting for them to do so. So now they're complaining because now they want the dude to be the man that they should have really been vetting for in the first place, to look for balance and stop looking, saying, okay, I'll take the looks because he can get his shit together later on, or he can get on my level or past me or something I'll be happy to show my friends later on. And that never happens. And because that never happens, they get upset. They get upset because they're tired of waiting. And they realize dude ain't gonna change. Because what they realize is it's not so much the dude's the problem, it's that the dude can always go. Dude is making $60,000, $70,000 a year, $80,000 a year, and a woman's making like 100 and 150 or 200. The dude can always get a chick making less. There's a whole bunch of females, like only a very small percentage of women make that. Like this idea that all these women making that is not true. A small, not a big percentage of women make that kind of money. This is why the higher you go up, the harder it is. So what happens is a dude can always go lower and get a better looking bitch. And this is where these women don't understand, and this is where they start getting tricked and they start getting mad, because now they realize they got fucked. But anyway, going back to the topic, T.I., the point is, this we know what the problem is. You don't want them there. Deep down, you choose the father for your children. You do not want a man in the house. You want all the benefits of what a man can provide, but you don't want any of the liabilities. It's like you want a car, but you never want to put gas in it. It's like anything that's like childish. You want all the benefits, but none of the liabilities. And because you feel you have been programmed to believe that the benefits don't outweigh the quote unquote liabilities, which means you got to negotiate with a man rather than you actually being able to do what the fuck you want to do whenever your emotions tell you for whatever reason. Because women were not meant to do that shit, because it will require them to go into the masculine more than they would want to, which compromises their femininity, and it would also require them to go fucking crazy because they just spin off into a deep space. It's like a planet being in an orbit. The sun is the dude, the woman is the planet. without the gravitational pull, you spin off in the crazy land. And you see that. You see that whether they got money, don't got money, or they get quiet, they get depressed. We see that. So that's really what this is about, guys. And a couple of females that are listening, I always got a few. That's what it's about. It's about a man's not there because you don't want him there. You think it is on the man to fight to be in his own home with his own family. You don't understand that the laws of nature dictate that a man can always just charge you may not think this is moral, but if you operate on the laws of what can happen and cannot happen, a man can always charge a family to the game. White men have had a propensity of doing that, and you're starting to see them do that now. Hence why the single mother rate amongst white women, for all the black women that always want to act like they never mentioned, is at 50% right now. So as they become and they start acting bitchy and they start doing that bullshit, because white men have a much less tolerance for that than black men. So white women acting bitchy is really a black woman at 5. So dudes still see that as a come up versus women. White men are like they're not dealing with that. They'll just go Eastern Euro, or they'll go Asian. So now you're seeing 50% of the white women are being left in the cold. Which, by the way, is going to put even more pressure on the social state, which is going to make it so it's going to get harder to get. Which folks ain't paying attention to that. But anyway, my point is, you don't want a man there. And that's what never gets talked about. The black men being around kids half the time is a miracle, because it's based on how hard does the woman want to make it. And say what you want to about Latin chicks. Latin chicks can hate the dude, but still understand the value of that man being around their kids. In black society, that's not true. In black society, there is a very, very large percentage of black men that they're just not going to fight to the death. I've had conversations with Sub-Zero, and when Sub-Zero says he's going to fight to the death for his kid. I get that. What I'm saying is, every man, you can't expect every man to be willing to fight to the damn death and then operate under these rules. Because a lot of dudes going to interpret that a certain type of way, and that's going to lead to a certain type of outcome that then motherfuckers going to say he went too far. You can't try to legislate that. A lot of dudes, so when dudes say, I'm going to charge it, if you're going to empower her with the law to do what the fuck she wants, and then there's going to be no fairness in it, it's just going to be what the fuck she say go, a lot of dudes are just going to charge that shit. And at the end of the day, that's you can say it's moral. I ain't talking Sub-Zero, I'm just saying in general. Somebody can say that's moral, somebody can say that's not moral, but at the end of the day, that's within its purview, because you ain't going to do shit about it, but just say you don't agree with it. In maybe a harsh way. That's really all it is. And that don't even happen to the extent that a lot of black women likes to act like it happens. But at the end of the day, man, you can't try to make it like you gotta be superhuman to be around your kids. You fuck the dude, but now you want to try to use the kid as a weapon. You see 50 Cent is going through that. And I know 50 Cent is an asshole. But that's one of the most evilest things you can do to your children, is to turn your children against an opposite spouse or an opposite parent. That's one of the most evil. That should be a form. In fact, some people are arguing that's a form of child abuse. That should be a form of child abuse. It is a form of child abuse. And quite frankly, if that shit could be proven, you should be able to sue a spouse for that shit, to be honest with you. In North Carolina, you can sue somebody for interfering with your marriage. So it incentivizes the person for doing that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It should be the same thing with turning the kid against their spouse. And yeah, women wouldn't like that because they know their primary custody. You're damn right they would. If the man is not there, then he's not there. But if he, that is what it is. But if you're gonna sit here and you're gonna poison a child, no, that's not your child. That's you and the person's child you had it with. I don't give a fuck if it came out your pussy. Y'all don't get that. Y'all think y'all have, like, the laws have told you and the shit tells you that's more your child than his. That's not true. And those laws are starting to be adjusted. They really are. Because again, y'all can't be dependent. It costs too much It's too inefficient to just leave it to the women, because the women have all these fucking needs and these maintenance needs, and it just costs the government and society too much. So society be like, okay, this shit just costs too much. We better start pawning some of this stuff on the dude, and not by just getting money from the dude, because there's only so much money you actually extract from the dude without completely fucking up society. See, a lot of these child support laws were still predicated on the fact that women weren't in the workforce as much, and they weren't making as much money. I don't give a fuck. That's why they keep pushing that pay gap shit. The reality is, women, you can make an argument that women have a pay gap, fine. But I can damn sure make an argument that women have greater access into the workplace than what men do, especially in the black community. Black women have far greater access, child or not, into the workplace than what a man has. So therefore, getting paid on a job is not as significant as having a job and not having a job. It's bullshit. So again, so you're extracting pounds of flesh from dudes that ain't even making that kind of money. And it's on women that are outwardly choosing to have children with dudes that either are not producers at all, or not, quote unquote, at any kind of producer level. Seriously. They're choosing that. So that costs the society a lot of money. So society is about to start penalizing women for that shit. For real, because people are getting tired of that, because it's a bill. Obsidian used to say that. He used to say that. How it's not everybody's job to pay the bill. It's not everybody's bill. It's not everybody's bill. It's not society's job to pay for decisions that females want to make. It's just not. So anyway, I just wanted to put that there. At the end of the day, that's really why a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are upset because they don't want a man there, and they have been emotionally and psychologically programmed to not respect a male presence, so much so to the point that even the image of that shit bothers them. This is a big reason why a man is not there. Because deep down, these are the emotions and programs and operating systems these people are running off of. So when these people talk about how man is not there, and they try to tell whatever their bullshit side of the story is, they try to make it sound sad, upsetting, they didn't know, whatever the situation is. Remember, your mama chose your father. And so the real question becomes, did your mom vet your father for fatherhood? We know she did it. We know the answer to that question. Well, it doesn't matter. He's supposed to step up to his responsibility. So, to the extent that I'm going to assume that the dude ain't shit, to the extent that I'm going to believe you, isn't it on you to choose a responsible person? That's like me saying that I signed a contract with a crackhead, and I expect the crackhead to all of a sudden not being a crackhead. I expect that to be different because of this magical thing that I want to call this situation. So I can blame him for that, or I want to get in business with a scam artist, but because we signed this contract ordained by law, which is ordained by the Constitution of the United States, and I knew he was on some fuck shit. Like, for instance, let me give you an example of men on men. LeVar Ball and Allen, whoever this dude's name, Allen, his business partner. He basically lazily got into business with a black dude, got into business with another black dude. Keep in mind, this is a black dude that LeVar is with around white folk. Act like he can't be told shit. And LeVar loses, what, 2-3 mil? 2-3 mil. Right? 2 or 3 mil of his son's money. One moment. 1 second. Yeah. And what did he do? He blew his He blew his son's money, and now it's to the point where his son's getting like his brand, his dream is really is seriously fucked with. What are you doing? It's seriously fucked with because of some random nigga that he wanted to pick off the street that spoke to his fucking ego or whatever. And this dude is a serial hustler. He was in jail for being a scam artist. You really gonna tell me that LeVar, even though Alonzo is being cool with his dad, you really telling me that Alonzo don't owe his dad a punch in the fucking nose? And I get the respect the dad should have, but for that shit, fuck cussing him out. Punch him in his fucking nose for that stupid shit. Especially with all the shit that Lonzo had to deal with being the target because of what Lonzo. And look, I like LeVar, but shit, LeVar made it harder on Lonzo than it otherwise had to be. He wanted Lonzo to come out the gate being like a LeBron James rather than understanding he was going to have to build his way into that. Because Lonzo was not a, one. Come on, man. Anyway, the point, you get what I'm saying. What you really think LeVar gonna be able to say, he just scammed us, so it ain't my fault I brought him in? What's that movie with Al Pacino and you know what I'm saying, dude that plays the cop, the dude that played off Pirates of the Caribbean, the main character, you know what I'm talking about. I can't, his name escapes me, but anyway, it was a movie about he played a cop and he read him, and Al Pacino's character was a gangster, and played a undercover cop, and he read him in, and because he read him in, everybody blamed him because you brought him in to us. That's your responsibility. Did you get the jelly? Thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. Donnie Brasco, Johnny Depp, right? And the mob, he knew, Al Pacino's character knew he was dead. He said, "You killed me, man." Because he said, "Dude, like, we were cool. You killed me. Because they're going to kill me. Because that is the law. Because you read them in. You brought the poison in here." And that's the same thing. But see, women don't understand that accountability. And a big part about it is they're not trained with it because society teaches them they don't have to be accountable. And is this every single female on the fucking ground? No. All the time, but every woman has a mode where they go into that mode. There. You don't want it there. Let's stop with the bullshit. The kids are not going to want it there because the kids don't respect order and really learn to value it. And the women don't want nobody telling them what to do because that's how they've been programmed. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And now, and it's like, because it's the water you're swimming in, and humans are adaptive creatures, you don't realize how stuff is now versus how it was then. Because it's like water boiling, but you're in the water the whole time. You don't feel it until it's too late. That's what people don't understand. That is what I pull from that situation, or how people are responding to it. And look, T.I. don't have the perfect situation, but T.I. is in control, at least to a certain extent, of the situation. Tiny does what the fuck she wants to do, and so does T.I. Guess what, though? One thing you can say is they do fuck with each other, and their kids benefit from that. They're not in a perfect situation, perfectly married. They have, and this is what's interesting, and this is how short-sighted a lot of women are. They have an agreement. Tiny understands the value T.I. has and the dude she got. And by the way, she still is allowed to do what the fuck she wants to do, as long as she doesn't try to blow everything up. But see, they don't see that part. And that's how I know they're getting very emotionally triggered. Because they see that one thing and they get triggered. They're not looking at the whole scope. They're not looking at the fact that T.I. and Tiny, it ain't like come on, man. And this shouldn't even be a conversation. It really shouldn't be. And this is why a lot of dudes like Sigma and all of them are saying you can't even fuck with a lot of these females. And when these females come in and try to sell, this is why when you got all these chicks that are allowed on our platforms, by the way, And they come with the same basic bitch shit, because it always is the same basic bitch bullshit, strag logic for the most part, with few exceptions. This is why you should get married. This is why I bring value. This is why. It's all buy into my bullshit. That's all I hear when they say anything they say is a noun, a verb, buy into my bullshit. That's all it is. None of that is actually predicated on any kind of serious logic. None of that is predicated on any kind of serious thought. It's just buy into my bullshit. Let's see if they're going to fall for my bullshit today. And because I have a female voice and I have a womb, let's see where the thirst is. Because that's the problem. They're so used to dudes being thirsty and wanting to fuck that dudes be like, whatever you say, I just want to fuck. So when you get across motherfuckers that either in a situation like either digitally or otherwise, they're not trying to fuck you, bitch. You realize people is going to tell you what the real deal is. And all of a sudden, you can't handle the real deal because the real deal is what a man thinks outside of him trying to fuck you. And now, I've never heard nobody talk to me like this before. But you're in the situation you're in. So clearly dudes are operating like this. You've never heard it because dudes don't want to tell you the fucking truth. Because what value? There is very little value in being honest with women, especially women today. Because they're not interested in the truth. They're interested in being lied to. And they know that. But anyway, like I said, the absolute truth is they don't want a man there. They want a man. Notice how these women never value a relationship, like a serious one, until their sexuality can no longer bail them out. So now they look for a dude to bail them out. This is why I call it a golden fucking parachute. They're looking for a golden parachute. Because they leaned on their sexuality. And look, it's varying degrees and varying situations. But at the end of the day, that's usually what it is. And all these females that come out of woodwork talking about their inception. I'm talking about the law of averages. That's all it is. Let's keep that real. So anyway, I appreciate that, all y'all. I just wanted to make this one quick. Well, yeah, like, dude, like, man, when you look at deadbeats and predatory, like, first of all, a lot of times it's not the father being predatory, it's usually the stepdad. Because that's a random nigga and that ain't his kids. That's what people, but see, again, the stepdad situation happens to the extent it does. Why? Because the woman's looking for a parachute. She's looking for a golden parachute. Life that got at her ass, easing got at her ass. There's a cost to going diesel. Diesel is when the diesel octane. There is a cost there. Every woman ain't willing to pay that cost. Because once you go diesel, you're not coming out of that shit. A lot of dudes always try to say once you become a trick, you gonna always be a trick. But once you become a hoe, you always a hoe. I don't give a fuck how you try to rotate it. That's true too. Same niggas will try to tell you that's not true though, what I just said. It's easy to stop paying money for bitches. Is it easy to stop being a hoe once you got it? That shit is addicting. I'm sure it is. These chicks, and then when these chicks tell you they changed, they have adapted. They haven't changed. That's all that is. So anyway, I could go on and on and on about that. Well, Eric Black, that's another thing that's gonna happen too. Remember, Jap says that lesbianism is the lowest form of single motherhood. And what you're going to start to see is you see the rise in lesbianism. And that shit is only going to accelerate. Because you're going to have females, because remember, females, black women, they don't understand that it's not about me asking them for me to have dominion over them. That's not what they're getting. See, they always think we're asking them for something. And I'm like, no, we're not asking you for anything. That fucks you up in the long term, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the only female out here without a chair. Remember what I said? Musical chairs. You're going to be the only woman out here without one, because you basically fucked it up. Because most of your dudes are going to check out on you and they're going somewhere else. Because when it comes down to it, dudes are not about to sacrifice their life on some concept, especially when they see you ain't sacrificing shit. They're not about to sacrifice all of that on some concept of being pro-black or race or anything like that. Humans are not wired like that. They're not going to do that. Men are not going to sacrifice for what they don't control. Period. And the black woman is literally the embodiment of something you do not control. And so therefore it's something you're not going to be responsible for. And you always see it with the Z's, you see it with millennials too. They're checking out. So you being compliant has nothing to do, or cooperative has nothing to do with the man. It has everything to do with you. Which is like me saying you need to pay your insurance policy because you may need it. Oh, I don't need it. I don't never need it until you get into a car accident. Now all of a sudden you need it. Or it's kind of like when I used to work with cell phones. Motherfuckers, we always used to say, you need to buy a cell phone plan. You need to buy a cell phone protection plan. They don't need it until their phone get broke. Now they want to bitch about how much it costs to fix the motherfucker. I'm like, yo. And then not only that, you can have it month to month now. It ain't like it's a $200 fee you got to pay on top of getting the phone. And they want to talk about the warranty and all this other bullshit. I'm like, no, you're out of warranty. It's over. Well, I'm still paying for the phone. How am I supposed? You should have thought of that. That's the same thing that goes on here. The same thing. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to see a lot of women go gay. They're going to do that because they're going to start rooming up with each other. They've already been programmed, psychologically imprinted to want to do that shit. And you're going to start seeing all this woman on woman on woman on woman on woman on woman on woman bullshit. But yeah, you got all this. That's what you're gonna do, and you already see it. MOT was talking about that when he was talking about all the women. When you're seeing women fucking women and still wanting kids, you got motherfuckers that are completely operating on biology now. Biology and low vibrational biology and instinct. I only have a baby because that's why so many of these women are getting postpartum, because they only had a bit postpartum, aka buyer's remorse. Because of why? Because they get that baby fever, which is nothing but chemicals and biology, has nothing to do with legacy, has nothing to do with family planning. It's like a dude getting a strong urge to bust a nut. That's what that is. And you fuck a ugly bitch, and now you're sad. Why? Because you realize you done fucked up. Same thing. But now all of a sudden you got a baby in that bitch. You got to deal with 18 years. So now you're trying to find value in this baby. On top of that, you're trying to make life easier for you. On top of that, what you do is you spread that energy, because you don't like the nigga you had the kid with, because you was only having the kid to serve a purpose to get rid of that baby fever. I'm just gonna say it just like that, because that's really going on. And then you turn around and you realize the dude you had a kid with really ain't shit and ain't gonna be shit. Or what happens is you hold out hope, and it depends on how good the dick is, which usually that's gonna be dealt with if nothing else is. Right? And then once you realize you fucked up, that energy gets spread to everybody. Your parents, your grandparents, everybody's got to deal with the kid energy because you fucked up. And they don't have the balls to really hold you accountable because the dudes there ain't really, or they just completely get away from the situation. Come on, man. It's obvious. So and BGS said that, and it is true. And now people are crying because, again, that's the water it's swimming in, and they're not seeing the overarching thing. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. But yeah, that gay shit's about to go live. You're gonna see that shit, and then these women will actually believe that's normal. They will actually believe that that's normal, even though, like, this is why bisexuality. It's funny, and Mr. Fantastic said this. He said bisexuality proves you're not born with it. It proves you're not born that way. It proves that that's a choice. But whatever. You're going to start seeing that. And then all of the diseases, all the stuff is already bad, is going to exacerbate. And you're going to see this like underclass, and it's going to be wild. Anyway, with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.